Hi diddly ho, Camperinos.
Oh, it's so sunny I can hardly see you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it glare?
There's a bit of glare.
So we just got this car in for a full sales inspection. Just having a little nose, making sure everything works.
Yes.
And to make sure everything does work, let's play the Carly fault code game. So it's connected to a dongle. We're just going to go diagnostics and we're going to go check for issues. What did you say?
I think I said 6.
I'm going to go 11.
Right.
You're winning so far. 8 or 9.
Oh.
What did you say? 6.
6. You're in.
I win. Apparently it's very bad.
Really?
9 issues. Yes, we've got 1 in ABS, which is engine control unit fault. In air conditioning, we've got 1 for engine control unit. We've also got 1 for heat regulating valve. Ignition switch position start voltage high. I've got lambda sensor bank 1 sensor 2. So we'll see if that comes back. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to clear it. I'm going to clear everything and see what we get. So you've obviously got the function in this for coding or adapting functionality. So we just have a little look, see what we can do on an R8. Auto unlock, unlock doors when turned off, lock vehicle at 15 kilometers an hour, lock rear lid at 15 kilometers an hour. There.
Yeah.
Hard braking, brake lights.
Yeah.
So when you brake hard, you can put your hazard lights on.
Ah, do you know what? I always wondered about that.
Yeah, it's a trick, isn't it? The adaptions, mate, are mega. It's the adaption ability is better than what you can do on Otis, because Otis just gives it to you in blah 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 blah, and then you can go in parking distance control and change your volume and change your frequency. Not bad for what your phone can do with your car, is it?
It's not
and
bad,
obviously, I did pick it up. 290 days to the next service.
Okay, that's handy.
So what I've done here is I've gone on via OBD. I want to see what live data we can look at. Coolant temp, fuel rail, intake air temp. I want temps. Look at that, mate.
Wow.
Right, so I have got a coolant temp because the customer complaint is he doesn't get a coolant temp on his gauge.
Okay.
Right, let's go for a drive because I've got to listen to a noise anyway.
Okay.
So pop yourself inside, Davlar. Do you remember Tom-Toms? I haven't seen a Tom-Tom in years.
No, I haven't. And it's right there as well, right where you want to see.
Don't need to see anything there. Right, so the complaint is coolant gauge don't work. It's a full inspection, coolant gauge don't work, and a whining from the gearing box.
Okay.
So let's go for a little bit of a drive.
Obviously, it is a manual, and it's a V10. Oh,
Get a bit of a groan on lock, which is pretty common. So what happens is that the rear's got a limited slip diff.
yeah.
So it's a plated diff. So if you go and watch the video we did, the first video we did with Nigel Pinder on his gearbox, he pulls the diff apart and changes the plates in his diff. So what we will do is, let's go into the car park by TPS. And the plates, when you go on lock, the plates groan.
Okay.
And you get that noise. So what we normally do is change the transmission or take it for a good run and do this little test. And what this does, especially after you've changed the fluid, is it forces the oil between the plates and it stops that groan.
Okay.
So we'll see if it does it.
The TPS test. Ooh.
So ignore the scrabbling.
Yeah.
Hear it?
Yeah.
Now sometimes you can just go and get the car hot. There you go, it's there. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Go and get the car hot. And so the second you start to come off lock, look, it goes.
Yeah.
Hear it?
Nice bump there.
Yeah. Go and get it hot. Do it again.
Yeah.
And you get that. You can get it to go, but I think what we're going to do in this instance is we're just going to change fluid. So we'll run. We just change it with motor oil because it's only 40,000 miles. But it's where everybody drives in a straight line and the diffs dry out. Essentially, the plates and the diff dry out.
Right. Okay. So pretty common on these.
Yeah, you get it quite a bit. Yeah. I've got an orange Superleggera over the other side, and a dealer or a garage have put a diff in it to get rid of the fault, and the diff they've put in it is awful, and the noise is, the second I put a little bit of lock on it, so that's really bad. So we're going to have to put a diff in that. So yeah, engine coolant temp, look, 76 degrees. So you might have a faulty sensor, but I might have to have a little chat with John and find out how many times it's happened or it's gone off.
So this is the car that somebody's looking to purchase?
They have purchased it,
They
yeah.
have.
Yeah. And TomTom's riding away, mate.
That's what I said.
You can even hear it there, look, with a bit of lock on, kind of. And the reason it's happening is because when you're putting angle into the car, you're encouraging, or you're making the axle inside to outside wheels turn at different rates.
Yeah. Should we unplug the TomTom?
Yeah. And the bloody bonnet's just popped up. And bloody bonnet's open as well.
Oh.
So for those of you that own an R8 know, the free latches are a pain in the ass. Because if you don't catch the centre one is what the switch is on. And I don't know whether you noticed, my dash was flicking on and off.
Right, okay.
Front lid.
Unsecured.
Unsecured.
Yeah.
But I checked it before we left, but I obviously didn't quite latch the centre one.
So you have to give it a fairly firm push.
Apatouche!
Yeah. Which is always a bit scary because you worry you're going to dent it.
Yeah. So we'll go and get some temperature into this. We'll go back to the workshop. We'll check the fault codes again. And with the diff, we'll just do a transmission oil change. And then we'll do a full vehicle inspection as well. And we should be good as gold. But
Lovely. It'd be quite interesting to see what goes into the full inspection because it's something we talk about a lot. I don't think we've ever shown it.
No. So we'll go through it, I think. Yeah, get the covers off, go through everything.
Yeah. So do you enjoy driving a manual one of these?
Driver have a
S-Tronic.
Yeah. Look at that rattle.
Yeah. And cowling is a little bit.
I fixed it already. Gone now, isn't it? No.
You need to hit another piece of this wonderful Swindon tarmac. Test it again.
It's my side. Mate, magic fingers. Fixed that, didn't even need tools. Didn't fix it.
You knew that. Oh.
I can hear it. It's like the under tray and the kneeler, that is. It's like a trim clip loose.
Yeah.
Hear it? Needs a wheel alignment.
That is definitely loose. You you'll get it on the big potholes on the other side on the way back.
Yeah. So telltale with these is, the good thing about this road is, so you've got a little bit of lock on,
Yeah.
and I've got a little bit of throttle, and I let go of the throttle and it tries to jump across the road.
Yeah.
So you can tell your wheel alignment's out with little things like that. And then road straightens out, if I hold the steering wheel straight, we're going into the curb.
Yeah.
So we'll advise a wheel alignment. Worst thing about R8 is a pedal level.
Yeah.
Yeah, pedals are the wrong heights.
Okay. What, with the manual?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's hard to heel and toe.
Yeah.
Hear it? Place feels good though.
Oh, you can feel the bumps there.
Yeah, and lift off as well, like when you're on the throttle,
Yeah.
moves across the road. So the thrust angle's wrong, it's just a bit skew-iffy. No vibrations through the wheel, feels pretty good. Fix that rattle, do a wheel alignment, gearbox oil. I think we'll be about right, mate.
Happy days.
It's going to annoy the living daylights out of me. It's here. That vent looks like it's been out.
Gearbox all feel good?
Yeah, it does, to be fair. A little bit of forward back in it, but it's such an agricultural gearbox. The telltale is downshifting third to second.
Yeah.
But do it when it's hot. Do it when it's hot because they're all awful when they're cold. Like a trim clip or a loose screw, that is. It's really a really light rattle here.
Have they mentioned that, or you've just noticed
No,
that?
I picked it up while driving it.
So overall, then.
Yeah, overall, we report back everything we find. So rattle on near side front, it's in this dash area. I wouldn't be surprised if the kick trim's been off before and there's a screw loose or a screw missing, or a trim clip not clipped in properly. But it's a really light rattle here. It needs a wheel alignment. Do gearbox oil change. I don't think it's a whine. He when he booked it in, he complained about a whine. I don't think it's a whine. I think it's that groan on lock.
Yeah.
Other than that, the car drives lovely. So wheel alignment, rattle, transmission oil change. I've checked the functionality of everything while we've been going along, and everything works. Aircon's cold, mirrors work, fold in and out. I've got them on heated at the minute, so when we get back to workshop, well, I'll tell you. Yeah, they're warm. That's okay.
Here's somebody else.
Look at him being a sensible boy.
He was very sensible. It was almost like we were watching him.
Yeah. So we'll get back now. I'm going to park it up here because we need to do a thumbnail. We will look at these absolute. Oh, Maverick, take me to bed or lose me forever. Honestly,
Mate, what are they like?
that is like that scene out of Top Gun, isn't it? That. Take me to bed or lose me forever.
I was thinking the scene out of Dumb and Dumber.
Lovely jubbly. Right, and I will just, while we sat here, see if any fault codes have come back. So my live data is fine. So I went through OBD live data. Everything was what I wanted was the engine values for coolant temp.
Yeah.
So connect back to the scanner and we'll just do a quick fault code check again. Nothing, mate.
Happy days.
Clean as a whistle.
Nice. So let's flip it around. If you and I were going to look at a car tomorrow,
Yeah.
and we could take one of these with us,
Yeah.
you could check it before you buy it, potentially.
Yeah, exactly that. You could check all the fault codes, all the errors. You could obviously do what we've just done, which is erase everything if you're worried, because you can save your error profile. You can erase everything and go for a drive and see what comes back. So if you're going to go and inspect any of these, you're going to look at it cold. That is warm.
Yes.
So they work. You want to start it from cold. You want to understand what it does from cold start. You want to make sure it doesn't spit black smoke, stuff like that. But just because everything's mint doesn't mean that there's not a load of hidden nasties going on inside the car, which is why you want diagnostics.
Yeah.
To give you an example, the Audi cable I use to talk to R8s, which will do all the Volkswagen group, is 1,400 quid.
Oof.
Right?
Yeah.
Plus then you have to have an Irwin license or an Audi license, right? Then you have to pay 10 euros an hour for use.
Wow.
Right? So you sit there. So the investments, you need a laptop, an internet connection, you need to jump through a million hoops to get a dealer portal login. Then you need to buy a VAS cable, so you can do what the factory does. And there's certain things then it won't let you do versus what an aftermarket system will let you do. So there's still stuff you struggle with.
Yeah.
So yeah, we pay our subscription for the software, we pay a license online, then we pay a security online, so we can do immobilizers and stuff like that.
Get a thumbnail.
Oh yeah, bloody hell, Dav.
Just thought you were going to move it for a...
And you think you can carry
if you want.
You can carry that Carly round in your car, and it's
there.
Christ, with the discount we get off, if you follow the link in the description for get one, it's, you know, I'm a professional and even we have a use for it. We, like what we've just done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's no reason now for me to go in and plug it into Otis or do anything like that because I don't need to.
It's done it all, yeah.
So yeah. So if I can find a use for it, or if I can use it,
yeah,
and I'm willing to use it on clients' cars, for people at home who just literally want to, oh yeah, okay, I can have it handy, checking my fault codes in my car. You can use it across multiple cars. No brainer, innit? So we've gone up in the air, and Tom has found some things. So first things off, look. The screws are missing out of number plate lights. Can you see?
Yep.
So you've got 4 screws missing. The fog light doesn't work. And then these air guides have been replaced. So this one's relatively new. But then can you see the big head screw?
Yep.
And then these are different. So it's got the wrong screws holding it on.
Yep.
It had the wrong screws holding the bottom of the under tray in. So they should be shouldered to stop crushing. You see how it's crushed the bottom of the bumper?
Yeah.
To stop that. So the screw seats and just pinches that, pinches the bumper and the under tray rather than literally crush it. And then you can see here, look, like how messed up that one is.
Yep.
So you've got to be careful. So when we buy new speed clips, we run the bolt through them first to open them up before we put them in. Because if you put them on, that happens. Look, can you see the holes broke? So what happens is people put the new clip in, gun it up, and it snaps the bottom of the bumper. So you've got to be careful with stuff like that. So it needs a fog light, it needs a pair of number plate lights, it needs all the screws for the air guides, and then you start to get into it then, and you can start to see. So the early ones had black pipes, powder coated pipes, and they start to corrode. So you can see the state of the screws holding the pipes in.
Yep.
Yeah. And like that should be clipped in there like that. So that's the clutch feed hose, and then that's the engine earth strap. So like, not great, we'd report that, but I wouldn't be telling them to change it right now. We just hose that all in WD-40 because that is going to be a nightmare to get off if we ever need it to. Then the hoses, the pipes come around here, and you start to get this. You start to get corrosion on the power steering pipe.
Yeah.
And then here, this heat shielding on the power steering pipe rubs through on the oil feed hose. Mm-hmm. it corrodes and then it leaks from here. All right, so the later hoses now are all stainless. So this has all got the early hoses on, and the same here as well. They leak on the flanges. If you come up this way down, they leak on the flanges here and here.
Yep.
So you have to be careful. And then you see this as well, where the front of the hose.
Where are we there?
That's just a sticker, I think, mate.
Yeah.
The front of the hose starts to corrode because it's the leading edge.
Yep.
So they just get battered. So it's had when it had its service, it's had new plugs put in. All the new drain plugs have been done. So it's been looked after. So I've got sort of no worries there. This is just general age stuff.
Yeah.
That's the oil cooler drainer, so that it's got an air to oil cooler in the wing or in the rear blade. So you obviously drain it from here. We then drain it from beside the pump, bottom of the pump,
yep.
bottom of the crankcase, front of the crankcase, bottom of the timing cover, and then oil tank. Okay. So we change from there. Rear discs starting to go on the inside edge. So because they're 70-30 split, you get this where the brakes never really clean up, because on the road people just brake gently. So you've got to watch for that. So the pads are not too bad. What do you say? They're about 50% worn in there, pads?
50 on the front, 30% worn.
Okay, so when it needs rear pads, we'll be saying rear discs. Handbrake pads don't look too bad either, to be fair. We get lots of problems with these corroding and then jamming on.
Yep.
Same as the cables as well. So we see more handbrake problems and brake problems. But again, on a car of this age or this condition, when we take them pads out, we're going to have to hammer the pads out.
Right.
They're going to be seized in place. And they've got metal slider plates that we have to take out and clean the corrosion out from from behind them. So just stuff like that, mate. And then you start getting into things like this, like all the fixings are starting to go. The under tray screws.
Yeah.
So we eat under tray screws. We just eat them. It's had a offside rear shock and a near side rear shock, and it's had genuine ones as well.
Okay.
So it's had some love. And then as we go forwards, I do, mate. Cheers, mate. Yeah, auxiliary belt looks all right. If they squeal when they're wet, that's normal. If they squeal when they're dry, you need a new tensioner and a new idler. So just keep an eye out for that. And you start to see things like this, like which caught curbs.
Okay, yep.
People jack them up with normal trolley jacks here and pinch. So you know we sell the hockey pucks that go in this space here, and they just jack it with a trolley jack. If you haven't got that, use the proper jack out of the toolkit, because it's designed to go in that gap. You should be jacking it here in this ring, or you should be lifting up here in this ring, and then behind the front wheel, like this one is here.
Yep.
All right. So this one's broken front air guide. He's done a rear air guide as well. They just bolt to the lower arm.
Yep.
And then front brakes look all right. Yeah, nothing scary. Suspension looks good, dampers look good. Just majority of it, mate, it's just corrosion really. No leaks, nothing dripping. Just lots and lots of under tray screws. Front flexies look starting to go, can you see? Corrosion there. So we'd report that. I wouldn't probably get too, that's better, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
We'd report it at that state, and then obviously if customers didn't have other things to spend money on, they could do it, but there's other priorities on this car over those at the minute. And then yeah, you can see we start to clip curbs or speed bumps. Just here, look. And then the same this side. So you just need to start watching that damage. How old are our tyres, Thomas?
4 years on the
rears.
6 years on the front.
Yeah, 28/19 on the front.
To be fair, they're matching over the axles. So.
Yeah.
I have noted though, they've got quite a lot of centre wear.
They have got a lot of centre wear, haven't they? Overinflated.
They were like 40. 6 psi.
Were they? Oh, far too high. Far too high.
What would you do these?
39, 36 is what the manufacturer specs.
Yep.
In winter, in summer, I'd be 36 front, 33 rear.
Right, okay.
So we always recommend tyres at 2 years, regardless of how much tread they've done, especially on Gen 1 R8s and Gallardos, because they rely so much on mechanical grip that the second the tyres start to go off, they're just awful. So you think these were, what did you say they were, 2020s? No, 1521, and they were 19s. So he needs a set of tyres, really. Set of tyres and a wheel alignment. And then where's the rest of your list, cuzzy? See you in a bit, Cal. Have a good train, mate. So, yeah, front brake pipe's corroded, like we said. Air guide screws wrong and fixings missing. A couple of shouldered T30s missing. A couple of under tray screws missing. Front oil hose is starting to corrode. Fuel cap strap, like we said about a minute ago, and fuel seals perishing. Tyre gel's expired. It's 90 quid plus the VAT. It's not too big of a deal here, but when you go to like Germany, it is. So you've got to watch that. Screws missing from both number plate bulb holders. Tyres are an issue. Rear fog light doesn't work. Front centre grille is peeling. There, look.
On the other side it's worse.
Is it? Yeah. Oh yeah, here, look. You see, Dav? That's been painted. Paint, it looks like overspray.
Might be like
Yeah, like touched up, like, but grill's 900 quid. Front centre grille pads, which we've spoken about. Near side engine under tray skid block missing. So the two fronts here have got plastic skids. Where have you put your under tray things, Buddy? So they live like that. And they're designed to make sure your speed bump doesn't hit your frame.
Right, okay.
And then at the rear, you got one, haven't you? And you have one missing. There it is. So they live, well, you can see how scuffed it is, look.
Yeah.
But they live here like that. So he's got one and he's got one missing.
So you hit that before you damage the actual frame.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Skid block missing. And near side front lower arm guide broken. Mitch just hurt his finger. Yeah, and that's again where it's just hit something.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad car. Do you know what I mean? It's 12 years old, for Christ's sake. They live outside.
Yeah.
You know, you just start working your way through the niggles. So you can tell we get some in and they're immaculate. You get none of this clouding on everything.
Yeah.
And you get some and they're just starting to show bits and pieces.
So I guess a lot of this is preventative maintenance. It's spotting things before they get.
Yeah. Like, for example, all these under tray screws, they're going to be seized, right? So everyone will hit them with like a Milwaukee or a snap-on or whatever, and they'll just snap out the plastic, like this one. They'll snap them out the arch liners, they'll snap out the bumpers. So like you can see here, look, that should be a shouldered bolt, right? So it's £7 for that shouldered screw, but nobody's used that. So what they've done is they've taken an under tray screw and they've wound it in, and they've wound it in so tight, look, they've actually deformed the side skirt and they've crushed it. And it's just that shocking attention to detail that people miss. You know, anyone can put screws in and out, but putting the right screws in the right places is why we're who we are. So yeah, and just have a look. Make sure rocker covers ain't leaking. You can see it down the back on that side. That's clean. And then this is an easier one to see. You get oil pooling here under the timing cover, and it's the rocker covers, mate. They just live above the exhaust. They're at an angle, and the exhaust just cooks the gaskets. So, other than that, Thomas, we happy?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, it's not. A few little bits in it. A couple £100 on some fixings, under tray screws, a fog light, and we'll service the gearbox because it's got that. It groans on lock. I haven't had a problem with coolant gauge though. So
there we go, an insight into what goes on.
This is what, yeah, and this is it. Like, we charge 2 hours to do a full vehicle inspection, but you've seen looking around it doesn't take so much of the time. it's pulling the covers off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and then if we've got to fight corroded fixings,
Yeah.
then yeah, we're into fun. But like you can see one snap there, look. Yeah. So that's bumper. I need a new bumper now to fix that.
Right.
Yeah. So easy lube is your friend. Coat everything in it. It don't matter. Don't matter. And if you are fighting bolts, a sharp chisel and hit it.
Yeah.
Hit it. Yeah. Don't try and put a gun on it, anything like that. You'll snap your bit, or you'll snap the bit, or you'll round the bolt off. So just a good chisel on the edge of it and just belt it, and it'll go. Snap-on, snap-off chisel.
I've bent one of my snap-on chisels actually.
Have you?
Yeah. Good job we went 2 of them.
But look, to give you an example, look, if you come here, look, Dad. So the wiring loom comes out each side, yeah? The steering column comes out here, this hole. Maybe you can see it better that way.
Hang on.
Yeah, 4 bolts holding that collar on. Holding that
Hang on.
heat begun booty.
Yep.
Holding that on. Yeah?
Yep.
Right, so come this side. Wanking plug. One chassis fits all.
That's a bit cheeky.
So all you do now is change the dash,
Yeah.
pedal box, all that stuff, got left-hand drive, right-hand drive. So it's the same frame. So, yeah, from underneath, it's the only way you would tell a left-hand drive from a right-hand drive. Everything is the same,
Yeah.
except where the column comes out from, that is it. You'd never know. Fuel tanks, so it's engine out to get fuel tanks out. So they sit on top of this frame rail. So they live here. On a spider, under this covers where the pump lives for the roof. And again, fuel tank there as well. So if you've got to do anything with fuel tank, you've got an access hatch from inside. On a coupe, on a spider, you've got to lift the roof off to get to the access hatch. But if you've got to take tanks out, it's engine out, all the heat shield now, tanks come out the back.
Oh.
Right, so Tom's written up his list. Obviously, it'll go back together in the morning, he'll service the transmission, we'll feed back to John everything we found and see what he wants to do, and then go from there.
Nice
And
work.
that is how it works.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Right.
Let me know if you've spotted anything I've missed. And I'll tell Tom. Hey?
They'll find something.
Everyone finds something, mate.
Everyone is an Audi master technician.
Shame none of us are. Right. Happy?
Happy.
Happy. Let's break for lunch.
Let's do it.
It's not lunchtime though, it's home time.
It's a bit later than that.
Well, it's home time for them. It's engine time for me. So here it is.
And here it is.
Immaculate V8 Le Mans. Do you want to buy it, Dav?
Yeah.
Great, because it's for sale.
Happy days.
I know.
End of video.
End
Sold.
it, yeah, end it there. So yes, it is a full Le Mans edition. So it's got the red accents inside. It's a V8 manual.
Manuel.
It has covered 39,584 of your English miles.
Nice.
And it's black on black.
It's black on black, which is
With
cool.
facelift wheels, which came standard on Le Mans, but that's what a facelift V10 would have.
Yeah.
So it looks ballerino.
It does. You get the red calipers as well.
Yeah. So obviously we'll service it and make sure everything's right.
Yeah.
So you haven't got to have an inspection done, or you haven't got to worry about it or any of those things. So it'll be tip top. We've looked after it for a couple of years, so we've done quite a bit on this one. So we know the car well, we know the owners well, and they just circumstances have changed for them, so they want to let it go, and we said we can help.
So this is up live now on
Website
which is repsalesandstories.com.
on Auto Trader,
Yeah.
and it's here, so you'll have to come here to view it.
Yeah.
But so Swindon.
Here is Swindon, for those that don't know.
But yeah, it's you won't find a better V8. You won't find a better V8.
And I think
And that's the point, really, with what we're offering for sale is cars that sell themselves. We haven't got to push the agenda. I'll only sell cars that I would buy.
Yeah.
That's the point. So it's going to be difficult for us because I think we're going to have to turn bits away at point, aren't we, that we're not comfortable selling, but
yeah.
that's the level. The whole point of this gig is we get asked by so many people, can you inspect this? Can you inspect that? Can you inspect this? And they come here and they're crap. And then you've got to tell the customer and you've got to tell the owner that it needs 10, 12, 15, 20 grand's worth of work, or you wouldn't buy it at all. It's clocked, for example, or this and that. So the whole point of this is we're a safe route to market. So it's pain-free for the seller and it's pain-free for the buyer.
Yeah, so you've got that peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because you and I see these, in inverted commas, cheap R8s that arrive around the 30 grand mark.
And they ain't cheap.
Yeah.
They ain't cheap. So, yeah. The spec speaks for itself. If you know about R8s and you want a V8, you want a Le Mans.
Yeah, it's one of 100 made worldwide, isn't it? Only 40 manual. And yeah, it looks the part. And like I say, it's had the carbon clean done.
We've done quite a lot. Aircon, just had front condensers done on it. Aircon regas last year because it had an aircon leak. Again, we've just serviced and inspected it, so it's got a clean bill of health. Yeah, before it goes to its new home, obviously Jordan's given it a good clean, ready for. So there's Jordan at Pro Detail. He's given it a good clean, ready for it to go to market. But again, before it changes hands, it'll be immaculate.
Yep.
They sell themselves, and then obviously we've got contacts in finance world as well. So if you're looking at finance, we can help sort that out.
Lovely job. Right.
So get it bought. If you've got an R8, you need another one. If you haven't got an R8, buy one. Mitch says bye. Do you want to say bye, Tom? No, Tom's gone cross-eyed. When you stress Tom out a lot, his eyes look at each other. Biggity bop. Boop.